Okay, so today I want to talk to you about two ways of approaching songwriting. You might think, okay, what do you mean approaching songwriting? Don't you just write a song? I'm not necessarily talking about the actual writing, but the way which you package and consider the song in comparison with the audience. Okay, I'm a songwriter myself, and my first album was very related to my life and my story and the things I'd been through. So it was a beautiful cathartic process writing those songs and sharing my story and getting them out to the world. And so what I was doing is I was creating this beautiful product here, creating these songs, writing them, crafting them, but they were primarily for me. They were for me to tell my story, something that I loved and I was passionate about. And then once I had this lovely package, this lovely product, I went, oh, okay, now I want to find some people who might want to buy this or might want to engage with it or might be interested in listening to these songs. And luckily I found a good connected group of people who were interested and, started to build some relationship with them. That's awesome. That is one way of approaching product creation or songwriting, is by the song first. And so you are expressing yourself, you're telling a story, you're crafting something that you like, and then you're looking for customers and fans and audience members. That's one way of going about it. That really leans very heavy on the self-expression, personal creativeness as a part of the product creation. Now, on the other side here, we have audience first. So this side is product first, and this side is audience first. And so what I'm doing right now as an experiment, because I want to try things out so I can share it with you, is I'm creating songs that I know that my audience will like. So I'm thinking about what are the messages that they need to hear. I'm thinking about how long my song is. I'm thinking about how many dead zones there are and too many instrumentals. I'm keeping it within 3 minutes 30. I'm making it radio friendly. I'm telling stories that I know is going to resonate with the audience that I have, because I got to know them here. And now I'm thinking about them. So my 25 to 45-year-old women, who is my primary audience, what stories do they need? How can I encourage them or champion them or empower them? What are things that are relevant to them that I can sing and write about? Now, you can see that this way of creating a product is very different from this original way of just expressing myself and telling my story. These are two different ways of product creation, both that have challenges to them. Let's talk about that. This way of self-expression is beautiful, it's authentic, it's true to you, but it's possible that you won't find anyone who wants that product, or you're going to spend a lot of your time lamenting over the fact that why isn't anyone listening? No one's relating with it. I'm not getting a lot of traction. That's because you've considered the product more important than the customer. Now, over here, you've got this product that you've created directly for an audience. You've actually crafted it for the audience that you want to buy. So you're likely to get good engagement, good purchasing, good following, good relationships with those people, because you're actually giving them something that they already want to buy. But there's highly likely to be much lower level of self-expression and personal authenticity, because you're doing it with the customer in mind rather than this one here as the story in mind first. I ask a question to a lot of people that I connect with. What's really important for you? Is it self-expression? Is it money? Is it fame? Everybody has different motivations. But I would say that 80% of people would put self-expression first. Because when you're starting off as an artist or as a writer, you want to really tell your story. That's right. That's fine. That's good. But the challenge of that is you shouldn't stay in that space. Once you've found an audience and start to connect with them, now you need to find a bit of a middle ground here. I like to use my hands, obviously, a bit of a middle ground between the self-expression and the audience. You want to now find some kind of ground in the middle here where you are being true and honest and authentic with yourself and the story that you want to tell, but you're crafting it in a way considering the person that you want to purchase it. Now, I use an example of, for many, many, many years, obviously, there's not a music example, but I think it's a valid example. Many, many, many years, there were baby jumpsuits that used to have buttons or little press studs that you had to, spend 5 minutes getting all the press studs. And, I have nieces and nephews. I've babysat and nannied a lot, and I've definitely struggled many times trying to do all these press studs. And now, I don't know if it was Bonds, it's probably Bonds, or some company decided there's got to be a better way. Why don't we talk to our customers and see what would they like, what's important to them? And basically, what in my imagination the customers would have said, is there a way to make this easier? Because at 2 a.m, when I'm exhausted, I don't want to have to try and do press studs and do buttons on a baby onesie. This is terrible. So the people in the know thought, well, what if we do a zipper? A zipper, brand new invention. And what if that's going to save so much time and fiddling at 2 a.m. Maybe it's going to make the life of my customers much easier. And guess what, most mums would say now that, if anyone gives them a onesie that has buttons, they're like, no, never using that. It's like zippers all the way because they are so much more efficient and it meets the needs of the customer way more than the button ones did. Now, I've told you a story about babies and baby clothes, but I want you to understand the 2 different ways of product creation. So we've got the one here that is really about self-expression, and then we've got the one here that's really about customer first. What does the customer want? What does my audience need? What are they interested in? And then I'm creating something based on their preferences first. Very different ways of approaching product creation. This one is much easier to sell. To be really honest, it's much easier to sell products that your people and your customers have said they already want. It's much harder to sell a product that nobody wants or nobody knows about. And so my challenge to you is to try and find a middle ground. Once you've gotten those first couple of songs out, your self-expression has come out, I want you to start to think about what are the topics that my audience are interested in, the things that they're facing, that I already know about, and where can I find my personal authenticity in that story? So maybe it's a story or a song about climate change, and that's really important to your audience. People, they've talked about that, the age that you are, and you're like, yeah, you know what? I really care about my planet. I can write a song that really speaks to that. What you're doing is you're combining the product creation and the customer together, and you're actually giving yourself a greater chance to actually connect and land and be relatable with your customers and actually connect with fans. Customers, fans, is the same thing, so that you actually are going to get some more traction with your music. All right, a bit of business tips for you around your songwriting and who the song is for. If it's for you, go ahead and just keep crafting your own songs. But if it's for people to listen to, you want to consider how they're going to receive it, the package in which it comes, and the content in which that you include in it. All right. Thank you so much for listening. If you love this, why don't you subscribe and jump on board with the Westwood Management train. As always, we would love to be on your team. So reach out on socials and connect with us. If you have any thoughts about this video, pop them in the comments. We'd love to chat with you. Catch you soon. Bye.